Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Drama Flavored Coffee. This story comes from the subreddit Am I the Asshole? Posted by ThrowDad7755. Am I the asshole for refusing to walk my daughter down the aisle? I, 49 male, have two daughters, Marie, 27, and Julie, 23. For context, Julie is not my biological daughter since I married my current wife when she was only 2, and since her dad was absent, I adopted her as my own, but I love both my daughters the same. This being said, I am closer to Julie since she has and still lives with us, and we do almost everything together. Instead, Marie is closer to her mom, mainly because her mom got full custody of her and has never lived with me. Now to the main issue. Julie got engaged about a year ago and immediately asked me to walk her down the aisle. I, of course, agreed and have actively helped her with the planning of the wedding, which is scheduled for October 2022. A couple of weeks ago, Marie asked me to go grab some coffee with her and let me know she's currently pregnant and will soon get married. To be honest, this got me off guard since I didn't even know she had a boyfriend. She apparently will have quite a fast wedding since she doesn't want to show too much, meaning her wedding will be in 3 months. She says it'll be a small ceremony and asked me to walk her down the aisle. I felt weird about it since I don't even know her fiance and it's all so sudden, so I asked her to let me think about it. It seemed like this answer surprised her, but she understood. I then went home and let my wife and daughter know, and Julie asked me to please decline since she wanted to be the first to be walked down the aisle and since she asked first, thinks that I have a stronger commitment to her. I agreed since this is more of an us thing rather than an afterthought like Marie's wedding. I then sent a message to Marie letting her know of my decision with a brief explanation and even offered options like her mom or stepdad to walk with her. I also reassured her that I'd still be with her there and support her with anything. She almost immediately called me crying and telling me how much of a horrible father I am and how I apparently have always played favorites, which hurt me since it's simply not true. I love them both. I tried to explain my reasoning, but she said it doesn't matter and doesn't care about my excuses. She ended up hanging up and my ex has been sending me tons of texts berating me and calling me names. Now word has spread to some family members, and they are calling me a deadbeat and trash, but my wife and daughter agree that my decision is the only fair one and shouldn't be pressured into doing something I don't want. I'm starting to feel guilty, but I'm honestly unsure. Am I the asshole for refusing to walk my daughter down the aisle? Okay, personal opinion. Yes, you are definitely the asshole. You say that you love your daughters the same, and you say that you're not playing favorites, but it's blatantly obvious that you are. You choose to walk one down the aisle and not the other one. The other one being your biological daughter, who even though she didn't live with you, she's still your daughter. You still maintain a relationship with her. And you're saying this is not something you want. Why don't you want to walk your daughter down the aisle? There has to be another reason. And I don't blame your daughter. I don't blame Marie at all for being upset. It's like you rejected her. You rejected your own daughter. She's not asking you to pay for anything. She's just asking you to walk her down the aisle, to give her away to her new husband. That's absurd that you refuse to do that. And for Julie to ask you to not walk Marie down the aisle because she wanted to be first is selfish. And she's also an asshole. So I think you need to get to the root of why you don't want to walk Marie down the aisle, because there has to be something more. If you love your daughter, if you love Marie and Julie the same, and you don't play favorites, then why aren't you walking Marie down the aisle? Okay, so let's go to the comments. You're the asshole. You should be walking them both down the aisle instead of just picking one over the other. Julie wanting to be the first to be walked down the aisle is frankly a ridiculous request, and if you explain that as your reasoning to your daughter, no wonder she was crying down the phone. Dats Ox says, OP is beyond the asshole. Marie's mother always had full custody and she has a stepdad she lives with. So even though she has spent more time with stepdad, she still wanted him to have the honor over him. It's not a race to have your dad walk you down the aisle. I seriously don't understand what the fuck Julianne and her mom are on. OP can say he loves them the same, but he doesn't act like it. Canover7 says this: holy cow, you and Julie are both assholes and you should both be ashamed of yourself. It's good you have chosen your favorite so you won't have to worry about trying to be a pretend grandfather to Marie's child. Marie deserves better, and wow, what an incredible example of favoritism and awful parenting. Well done, you're the asshole, one of the biggest I've read about here. NerdLife91 says, yeah, you're the asshole here, big time. You're refusing to walk your daughter down the aisle because your other daughter wanted to be first? That's super selfish. OP actually edited his post to add, edit, I don't know what to do now. These comments have really opened my eyes on how horrible I was to my daughter. I feel like I've been oblivious to several things I did and allowed to happen. I feel like the worst asshole there is, and I don't even know if there's room to fix it. I'll try to reach out to her, but after reading your opinions, I doubt she'll accept, and I totally get it. Well, OP, I'm glad that you realized what an asshole you were to your daughter, to Marie, because there's absolutely no reason why you can't walk both of them down the aisle. And Julie's request that she go first is absurd and selfish. And if I had to guess, she's probably jealous of Marie, that Marie is your biological daughter. But she wanted to have one up over her and be the first to be walked down the aisle. So you have a lot of apologizing to do, and I really hope it works out because Marie's pregnant, she's getting married. This should be an amazing, happy time in her life. And, I hope that things can get resolved and you two can mend your relationship. This story comes from the subreddit Am I the Asshole? Posted by AITA Mom of Two. Am I the asshole for telling my daughter, 23 female, she's a bad person over pizza? My family consists of me, my husband, my daughter, 22 female, and my son, 17 male. My daughter moved back home during lockdown 2020 as she was finishing her master's degree. She took a year out to work and is now doing a secondary degree. I told her if she stayed at home and didn't take out any loans, we would help her through the degree. We aren't paying for it though, food, petrol, etc. On Thursday night, we threw a pizza party for myself, my husband, our children, and their partners. It went great and everyone got on well. On Friday night, my family, me, husband, son, and daughter, visited their grandparents for a family dinner. On Saturday, my husband and I returned from a shopping trip around lunchtime and told daughter she needs to get ready for the pizza night. She said she didn't know we were having a pizza night on Saturday. I had invited over a group of old family friends and that she had planned her weekend so she could do all her work Saturday and go to visit her boyfriend for Sunday, Monday, as it is Valentine's Day. I told her she could at the very least stay for the meal, but she said no. It always ends up becoming a long meal and she'd have to wash her hair and do her makeup, which she was planning to do Sunday so she'd have clean hair and not need to wash it at her boyfriend's. I told her if she was going to act like that, I would cancel the whole thing. She said that's silly. She just didn't want to participate as she had to work. It blew up between us as she said this was her time to do as she pleased, and I had just had a week of holiday. I complained about trying to do my best to please everyone, and she said that's nothing to do with her. She didn't ask or know about my dinner plans. It escalated a bit, and when her father, my husband, walked in, I said our daughter was refusing to participate because she didn't want pizza again. She'd said she doesn't want pizza so soon after Thursday as well. My daughter said it's not because she's making pizza, it's because I'm busy and I don't want pizza either. I exclaimed, she? I am not she. And my daughter repeated what she said but called me he instead. I told her she's a bad person. She did not join in pizza night. She was annoyed the guests stayed until 1 a.m. as she wasn't able to prepare her own dinner. We haven't talked since. Am I the asshole for calling her a bad person? I think she is ungrateful and should have just joined in, but she doesn't like people seeing her as a mess and blew up the situation. All she had to do was join in dinner. Edit, about the bit regarding pronouns. I identify as female, but it is rude to refer to someone as she rather than their name title if they are part of a discussion. And she then repeated her phrase and used he when I was upset about the use of she, which was obviously meant to upset me even more. Okay, personal opinion. Yes, you are the asshole. This whole pizza ordeal is a really weird hill to die on. Your daughter is in her 20s. She's an adult. And honestly, I have a daughter who's 14. And if I told her that we were having, that I, set up plans for a pizza night with some old family friends, and she told me she had plans already, I would not force her to stay and have a pizza party with family friends. I mean, she's old enough to make, I mean, if it was like a big, like a birthday or a special occasion, that's something different. But it was just pizza. I think you're trying to control her, and you got upset that she wouldn't follow your plans and your rules. And she, I get that she is living in your house, but again, she's in her 20s and she has a right to make plans of her own. I think this whole argument is more than pizza, though. I think this is just like a mother-daughter power struggle. I think because she's living in your house, you feel the right to control what she does, no matter how old she is. And she, being an adult, feels like she has autonomy over her own self, and she doesn't need or want someone else, especially her mom, controlling what she does. Okay, so let's check out the comments. Scholar Impressive 887 says, "You're the asshole. If you wanted her at dinner because you were having people over, you could have just asked what date time worked for her beforehand so she can make time for it. The fact that you are supporting her does not mean you own her time. She deserves her commitments to be respected as well." Krobachin says, "OP's daughter is 22 or 23. OP doesn't seem sure, and already has a master's and is working on a secondary degree. I mean, she is presumably someone who knuckles under and knows how to plan her time. Give her space. Don't be petty and try to remember her age." Simply Sam 4210 says, "You're the asshole and blew this totally out of proportion. Your daughter, who is an adult, by the way, had plans and you didn't communicate your expectations. It sounds like you have a mind movie of your mental image of what your relationship is supposed to be, and she's not living up to this unrealistic standard. And why did you get upset she called you she? Your daughter was speaking about you to another person and was using your proper pronoun." OP, I hope you can resolve things with your daughter. And I just want to add, as a mother of a daughter and as a daughter, I think your issue is you're having trouble coming to the realization that your daughter is grown up and building a life for herself and on her own, separate from your family. I mean, it shows you want to maintain that mother, father, daughter, son family, that nuclear family. And now your daughter's growing up, or she's grown up, and she's out on her own, making her own plans, and she's, separating herself from her family, from your family, in order to make her own life. And I think that's hard on you. And it would be hard on any parent. I think that you do love your daughter. It's just hard for you seeing her branch out on her own. It's just something that you have to learn to deal with, and it's not a bad thing. It's actually a great thing that, you can see your daughter grow and thrive and flourish and see her build her life, and that's still a part of you. It's still, you raised her, and hopefully you raised her well. Well, that's it for today. Thanks for joining me for this episode of Drama Flavored Coffee. If you like this video, please drop a like and subscribe to my channel for new content. See you guys next time.